So, in this extrinsic pathway, the tissue thromboplastin is released, and this thromboplastin contains protein, phospholipid, and glycoprotein, which act as proteolytic enzymes. The glycoprotein and phospholipid components of thromboplastin convert factor 10 here, factor 10 into activated factor 10 in presence of factor 7 here. See the arrow cursor, factor 7. Okay, so tissue thromboplastin in presence of tissue thromboplastin in presence of glycoprotein, phospholipid, and factor 7 convert factor 10 to activated factor 10A, and this in presence of calcium and factor 5. Calcium and factor 5 accelerates the formation of prothrombin activator and the processing of or the formation of blood clot. And this is also feedback, see here, positive feedback, because factor 5 could be activated by thrombin formed from prothrombin. By thrombin, factor 5 can be activated by the thrombin. This factor 5 now accelerates the formation of prothrombin activator, and this again forms the thrombin from prothrombin. So this is called positive feedback effect of thrombin. Positive, see, you have seen this positive feedback, I think, in metabolism. So this positive feed is called positive feedback of thrombin. Positive feedback effect of thrombin. So now, after the prothrombin activator, whether it is formed from intrinsic or extrinsic pathway, converts prothrombin to thrombin, and this thrombin converts fibrinogen to active state, and this fibrinogen is converted to, by loss of certain peptides, it forms a fibrin. Fibrinogen is converted to fibrin. And first fibrin monomers are formed, then the polymerization takes place and they form polymers. Fibrin polymer, which in presence of factor 13 and calcium forms a insoluble and tough fibrin blood clot. Okay, so this is the actual intrinsic and extrinsic pathway which converge at the stage of formation of prothrombin activator, and finally the formation of blood clot occurs. Let us summarize. This is all the sequence of events just to have discussed. Extrinsic pathway, and this is summary. Blood clotting occurs in 3 stages: formation of prothrombin activator either by extrinsic or intrinsic pathways, next conversion of prothrombin to thrombin by PTA, next conversion of fibrinogen to fibrin by thrombin. The same again, okay, I have to write in detail. Stage 1, formation of prothrombin activator by 2 pathways, intrinsic and extrinsic pathways. Stage 2, conversion of prothrombin to thrombin. Blood clot is all about thrombin formation. Once thrombin is formed, it leads to a clot formation. Prothrombin activator can be formed in intrinsic and extrinsic pathways in the presence of calcium and factor 4. Calcium, which is factor 4. Once formed, thrombin initiates the formation of more thrombin molecules. This we just discussed. That is called positive feedback effect. The initially formed thrombin activates factor 5. Factor 5 in turn accelerates formation of both extrinsic and intrinsic prothrombin activator, which converts prothrombin to thrombin. This is called positive feedback effect. This is the only point which you can write specially during this step, conversion of prothrombin to thrombin. Next, final last step, fibrinogen to fibrin. This can be divided into 4 steps. First, inactive fibrinogen converted to active fibrinogen, and the activated fibrin is called fibrin monomer, and these fibrin monomers polymerize with other monomer molecules and form loose strands of fibrin. Later, these loose strands are modified into dense and tight fibrin threads by this factor called factor 8, that is fibrin stabilizing factor, in the presence of calcium ions. All the tight fibrin threads are aggregated to form a meshwork of stable clot. Okay, so I think you have got a good idea of blood clotting. So this is very important regarding the exam, either composition of blood and blood coagulation in the same essay question. Okay, go through the process or the flow chart again and practice it. You can get a good thorough grip of this topic. Thank you.